Hello, this is Mrs. Meyer. I am your child's biology teacher. And now that I have the ability to put assessments into the gradebook, I wanted to take a moment to talk through exactly how this works and what you'll see when you look into your child's grades for biology. I tell the students that I know that my way of entering grades is kind of strange and it will be a little bit hard to understand at first, but as we go through the school year, I think they will understand it better and they will also really like the way that grading is done in biology. As I said in my syllabus at the beginning of the year, my focus is on helping students to improve, and I don't want to penalize a student or punish them for not understanding a topic right away at the beginning. Learning is all about getting better as you practice more. If students completely understood all of the biology concepts when they first started in the class, they wouldn't need to take biology class. So it is expected that the first few assessments will be harder for the students. But I don't want that to go into their grade and affect their grade because it's not a true showing of what they know or will be able to do later on in the quarter. So with that in mind, I'd like to talk through the gradebook a little bit. The pictures that I have here are actually from my gradebook, and so they will look different than what you see when you look in your students' grades. However, I still feel like it's useful for me to show you these so that when you look at your gradebook, you can understand better where the grades are coming from and how they work. So you'll notice, first of all, that on this top row up here, there are different colors of assignments, and the different colors represent the categories. So there are some assignments that are kind of orange or brown, some that are blue, and some that are red. All of these orange or brown assignments are what we call formative assignments. So these are assignments that I'm giving throughout the unit to understand better what the students know. You'll see that they are out of 0 points. Okay, you can see right there those zeros. So even though I put a score in there, it's a 1, 2, 3, or 4, those points do not go toward the student's grade because these are things that they are doing in the process of learning before they fully understand the topic. And I would encourage you to think of the 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the formative grade as not a grade but a level of understanding. So like level 1 is a beginner level, level 4 would be an expert. Level 3 is what I want all students to achieve, and that is mastery of a certain standard, mastery of whatever it is that they're studying. 4 is, again, as I said, an expert, above and beyond. So again, when you see these numbers in those formative assignments, please don't think of them as grades or percentages like 25% or 75%. They are just a way of tracking the student learning. So I can see if the student started at a 2 on an assignment, a level 2, and then on the next assignment was at a level 3, they're showing improvement. Or the opposite, I can see if students are going backwards in their understanding. So that's the whole point of the formative assessments. Again, they will show up as zeros in the gradebook. The other two colors, the blue and the red, represent things that are graded, so the scores that actually go into the gradebook. But they are different categories, that's why they're blue and red. The blue ones are what I call the content standards. So this is assessing what do the students know about the information of biology. And the red ones are called the process standards. And these standards have to do with the things that scientists do. For example, creating an argument, building a model, analyzing data. So those are the things I'll be assessing the students on through a summative assessment regularly throughout the year. Okay, so those do go into the gradebook. You can see that those are both out of scores of 10. So there's 10 points on those types of assignments. And you'll usually see a key kind of like this for the content assessments. That's the standard they're working on. So this particular standard is Ecology or Eco 1.1, all about the carbon cycle. So in those summative assessments, the scores that you'll see are either a 6.5, a 7.5, a 9.0, or a 10.0 out of those 10 points. Okay, so roughly this is equal to a D, a C, an A minus, and an A plus. Again, you can think of these as levels, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. So if the student meets the standard, they are at an A minus on that assignment. In the content assignments, so in these blue ones, students have to continue to reassess on their standards until they at least reach this level 3. Okay, that's the minimum that I allow them to reach. So everybody can get to a level 2 together by reassessing, and then everybody can get to the level 3 together by reassessing. The process standards can also be reassessed, so they can redo those process standards to reach as high a level as they want, the 1, 2, 3, or 4. So if they do their corrections to get up to a 10, which is the level 4, then they will get full points for that assessment. So in summary, what I'm trying to say is both of these types of assessments, that the red and the blue that actually go toward their grade, students have multiple chances to reassess or redo. And that's the whole point, again, of learning, and learning being a process. The other thing I wanted to show you is down here on the bottom. And this is another thing that I track in the gradebook, is those assessments that are scored, so the reds and the blues, they show up on my end by showing what standards they've met as well. So each of these scores here, these 4s, okay, show that this student has reached a level 4 in the assessment for these particular standards. For example, some of these are all process standards. So again, these are like being able to analyze data, being able to ask a question, a scientific question, writing a scientific argument. So I am keeping track of not only points, but also standards on these particular assignments. I hope this helps you to understand the gradebook better. As I said, it is different, and so at first it can be kind of confusing, but as it grows throughout the semester, I encourage you to keep looking at it and ask me questions if you're unsure how it's working. But the whole point is to provide a lot of feedback for the students through the formative assessment so they can see how they're growing and learning, and then multiple ways for them to improve their scores with those content and process assessments, the redos and the retakes and the multiple tries. Again, please let me know if you have any questions, and I hope this helps in your understanding of the gradebook.